Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, PES 2015, what the hell is this? This is basically taking all of the footage which was released earlier on today at 2 o'clock, so basically about an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago, and taking some of the footage which I got from Pro Revel blog, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, and looking at it basically. And I also took stuff from Winnie 11 Next Gen blog and some stuff from PES Fan, basically to talk about in terms of this video. So this video is going to be over 40 minutes long, which is a really long video, but I'm going to try and make it a bit more entertaining. Of course, if you want to, you can go and watch the original footage for each of these videos in the description. There's all the links to the description below, so you can actually go and read them, read stuff, and you can listen to stuff, and you can actually take it in by yourself. But as you see here, we're just basically looking at the main menu of PES 2015. Absolutely fantastic, as you can see here. As you see with this, as you can see in each of the small boxes, there's a little pin in the top right hand corner. It has been confirmed you can actually change the thing. So for example, you can actually change what each of the pinned sections are. So for example, on this bit where it says match, you can take that exhibition match out and maybe potentially even put in, for example, online match or something along the lines of like something like that, which is quite cool. It adds a little bit of customization towards each of your individual things, as well as sort of, well, basically makes it so you get quicker to your competitions and whatnot, and to each game mode quicker as you'd expect. Of course, the background, this is in slow motion, as you can probably tell, but of course it looks absolutely fantastic. There was no sound available to find out what it sounded like when it moves from swish to swish, unfortunately, but it might be in the actual original video. I don't know, because I deleted the audio straight away, because the audio isn't being used, isn't the in-game soundtrack. The in-game soundtrack does get found. I do actually show you half of what some of the songs which are in the game. Some of them sound really bad, and some of them sound actually okay. So that will be interesting to see when we get to it in about a minute and a half's time. So, of course, here, as you can see here, you see Bastian Schweinsteiger here. He's basically trying to do like kicks and whatnot in a Bayern Munich strip, and it looks quite nice. They also confirmed the teams as well, which I might do in another video. I'm gonna probably end up streaming tomorrow night, so you'll probably, if you really want to hear and want my own opinions, well, basically live, then you can just tune into that. Probably about 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be streaming for maybe about 4 or 5 hours, so not too bad. But here we get to see what the actual balls are like in the ball types, the different ball types. There's 26 different ball types. Of course, as your classic, you're playing in your PES from the 40s all the way up to 2015, which is a bit annoying because they still have the same sort of balls. But again, of course, they've added in some new of them, which are basically the new balls which are added. Of course, try and get through this video as quickly as I possibly can, but then again, it's me talking for 40 minutes. If you don't really care, then just sort of go through it, or just go into the links in the description below, and you can look at it yourself. I mean, I'm just giving back my opinion on what, because I didn't get a preview copy, unfortunately. I'd love to have previewed this game, but I mean, it's not my problem anyway. But as you see here, they're going through the ball types, and as you can see, they get to the Tango Pasadena and the F50X Excite and the inline. Like, they have some good balls, some Nike balls and some Adidas balls, Puma as well, as you can see. A bit disappointed that Arsenal aren't licensed, considering that they do have the licensing for Puma. I don't know why Konami don't have that, but anyway, we go on to the track list here. As we see, this is half of the track list must be from a Spanish version or a Portuguese version of the game, and as you can see, there are about 5 songs which are actually good on that, which one of them is the Konami track. Wilkinson's Afterglow is really good. Morning Parade, Shake the Cage is quite good as well. As is I Need Your Love by Calvin Harris, of course. Luna by Bombay Bicycle Club is also quite good, and Best Day of My Life by American Authors is also quite good. Avicii, Overrated, Bastille crap. Cold War Kids, never really heard of them. Imagine Dragons are dreadful. Linkin Park, I cannot really bother with Linkin Park at all. The Preachers I didn't really enjoy when I listened to a little bit of it, and of course the Konami tracks are Konami tracks, so I mean, I did include them in the positives. I don't know. I mean, but I'm disappointed by the soundtrack, but then again, I don't really listen to the soundtrack anyway. I'd usually import my own music or just listen to my own music with the television muted anyway, so that doesn't really take effect over me. But anyway, moving on, I think I moved on to showing off edit mode. And with edit mode, of course, I'm not going to bother actually talking about what's on the screen. I'm just going to go through it in terms of me just reading what was written on the PES World website. So let me just go through that right now. So, the PES World website went through all the editing, and as you can, you can't really see, but it's going into the edit mode now. But it talks about the kit design. The kit design consists of image importing, consists of 8 parts this year: shirt front, shirt back, sleeves right, sleeves left, shorts right, shorts left, socks front, socks back. So basically it's much like last year, short front, image sits predominantly in the front, but expand over the shoulders, and blah, 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 blah. And of course, your ability to add images on the back of the shirts is new, but then that sort of stuff. But then again, it doesn't really matter because you can't input images on the next-gen consoles anyway, so I don't know how that's really going to work, but in-game kit templates are basically the exact same as PES 2014. This may or not change for PES 2015 come later on in terms of how that goes, but then again, we don't know. So, of course, that's a bit new, but then there's also the no skin-tight shirt models, which are, some people be probably quite disappointed by that. Me personally, I don't really care, because I don't really care about the whole skin-tight shirt models anyway. But moving on to the chants, you can actually read all of this. There's a link in the description below if you want. I'm just like skim reading it as I talk now. But the chants, it seems basically you get to add them and blah 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 blah. A selection of intro commentary names has been added. And for example, you'll be able to assign the names Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool, but Arsenal won't be possible. This isn't a town or city or name. So for example, you can actually have them say, "Oh, welcome Chelsea," blah 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 blah, because of the fact that Chelsea is actually a town. Arsenal, unfortunately, is still North London, as is, well, Tottenham? No, Tottenham wouldn't be. Tottenham is exactly the same, so that's a bit disappointing, but again, I can't really say much. But you could always, technically, you should be able to have a Highbury, because of course there's a tube station name, which is Highbury, but it's situated in Highbury. You could say Highbury, supposedly anyway. And also Dortmund's included as well, but you can't, but they couldn't remember every single commentary name, but there supposedly was loads. And of course, there's another thing. One of the problems is the stadium editor, which they were talking about, isn't actually a stadium creator as in PES 2013, but a stadium editor. So you can change, you can't really create stadiums from scratch, but you can change, for example, the name of the stadium, change the seat color, change the pitch design, pitch border color, and goal net design. So, and of course, only available in fake stadiums. However, it does make it look a little, maybe could potentially change up quite a lot of the, like Konami Stadium, for example. Instead of having to have the same pitch design and the same pitch border color, you could actually change it maybe a little bit more than you actually think. So I'm not really sure about that yet, but of course, I can't really say anything about that. So, moving on, you have the ability to add a chosen slogan, team name, pretty much anything you want to a banner, which will be scattered around your team's stadium. So, for example, the PES World, I think Glenn from PES World is a Newcastle fan, so he chose like Away the Lads, Toon Army and whatnot. When technically you could, and you can only, I think you can only choose up to 3 to be displayed on banners around the stadium, so you could have Sak Pardew as one of them. A little bit banter there. Anyway, moving on. You can actually create a manager now, so you can create a number of managers for and assign them to each team. So, for example, you could create Arsene Wenger and assign him to Arsenal, because Arsenal, of course, aren't licensed. And you can import an image for him for your team bio purposes. Again, no ability to store images on next-gen consoles is a bit annoying, but then again, if you can make it look good enough, then it should be good enough anyway. Of course, if he remembers correctly, the North London manager, who's Arsenal manager, was called Arsene Wenger. And you can change the name and whatnot, and change the manager's name and his appearance easily. Basically, it's the same as changing a player, more or less. And of course, the emblems, it's more or less exactly the same as last year, because it adds specific emblems to your desired teams, but the emblems are a lot clearer than they were last year. But last year they were a lot more pixelated, but then the maximum number of emblems is still unknown. Hopefully it's just like unlimited, because it really should be. But the problem with importing images on a next-gen edit mode is a bit annoying, because both the PS4 and Xbox One doesn't allow it. But supposedly DJ Damos, if you probably know him, if you've ever had an Xbox 360 option file, you will know that he is more or less a modder sort of guy. So I think he's trying to mod it and try and fix it in terms of that, because there's 2 files, an edit file and a mod file. I think if you I think he's going to be modding the edit and the mod file, inputting images into that, and basically, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't break your warranty on your PS4 or your Xbox One, because technically you're not doing anything wrong. You're just putting in another file. So hopefully he finds a way about fixing that. But I mean, really, that's really about it for the edit mode, which I've just literally just skimmed through. You can go back and read through it yourself if you want to. Again, I'll link in the description below. But let's move on to something else. So here, as you can see here, this was actually from the Pro Revo blog video again, top 500 players in the game. And one thing I was a bit annoyed with, but I don't really know if it's a good or a bad thing, is when you look at the team prices, the market value is still really quite low for some players. So for example, Oscar's rated 15 million roughly, and he has a salary of about 4 million, which does seem alright, but then again, if you're giving him, I think it's only a salary of 4 million per year, so then if you're giving him over like a 10-year, like a 6-year contract or something, you're going to be paying him 24 million over that 6-year contract, and then you're paying also 15 million for him. So in the end, it works out that way, which is quite cool. I'll give you that, but there's not really much else I can say from that. But the Pro Revo blog also had stuff looking at the training matches. The training mode, sorry, not training matches, it's training mode. I kept a little bit in here because some of you are really interested by training mode for some reason, and to me it looks a lot like the training, some of the stuff in FIFA where they have you doing your stuff for running about outside before a match starts, which does look quite cool. I mean, I'll give them their due. It does seem relatively interesting, but again, I'll just skip this and you can go and watch the video yourself. These videos are a good like 20 minutes long. There's no talking over it, it's just some music in the background, so of course it makes your life a lot easier rather than having to listen to someone like me talk over all this footage. So let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing I want to move on to is Become a Legend, again by the Pro Revo blog, made by, I think his name was Martin Ronsford is the guy, or Marvin Ronsford, and he actually shows you how to create his player. He creates his player basically, because he's a German guy. He creates his player and whatnot, and it sort of looks very goddamn similar to any other PES game if you've ever created a player before, basically. And it seems like it's quite cool and whatnot. Like you basically have your default face, you change your type, you change blah 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 blah. Basically, you all know what this is all about, really. But one of the things which I did enjoy was seeing your, not just for this, but the fact that when it comes to creating your manager in PES 2015 for the Master League, you actually see the manager walk on the pitch. You'll see it in a moment when I get to Master League eventually, but as you can see here, he's going through and he's just showing off some of the new sort of stuff. If you want, you can watch this particular video. You can actually go watch the video for Become a Legend. Again, all the links in the description below. Trying to keep this video relatively shorter than I wanted it to be. Like 40 odd minutes is quite a long time to listen to me just talk like a lot of crap. They've also got the Mercurial boots which come up to the ankle. I didn't actually even know that, but that's quite nice. Those are quite nice boots. But yeah, I mean, it looks very similar to other PES, the PES 2014 really, but it looks a lot smoother and a lot more natural, and in general looks just basically better, which is a good thing really, because, you know, that's what you really want with these sort of games. I think this was being played in the PC if I remember correctly, so that's even better because it shows off how good the PC version actually looks. There was also some gameplay, but I decided not to take the gameplay because there's no real point showing gameplay off when it's more or less quite irrelevant. But here, just showing off a little bit of the training. As you can see, the training is more or less exactly the same as PES 2014, which is a bit disappointing, but hopefully it doesn't mean that it's a lot of just crap, really. Hopefully it actually has a lot to do with this sort of stuff. But, so moving on to Master League. Master League, as you can see here, sort of managers you want to be, blah, 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 blah. It's more or less the exact same sort of stuff again, as do you want to use classic players, do you want to use additional leagues, blah, 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 blah. But this time you actually get to create your manager, like I was saying with the Become a Legend. So again, you can create your manager's name, his appearance, and you actually get to see the manager walk out onto the pitch at the beginning. So it's a bit, they've taken some of the cutscenes from PES 2013, light, if you know what I mean, the sort of stuff which is roughly more or less the sort of same stuff from PES 2013. So he walks out onto the pitch and he looks about and whatnot, stuff like that. I think it probably is more or less exactly the same with Become a Legend, hopefully. Maybe the same with Master League as well, where you buy players, maybe they actually come out onto the pitch and kick the ball a bit if they're high profile and stuff like that, hopefully, because I mean, it's just so goddamn annoying when they don't. But if you want, as you see there, you can actually save your appearance. So if you want to then make your manager, it changes everything. So he picked Bayern Munich as his team, and he put himself into a new league. And of course, like, he actually ended up picking Real Madrid to make his life a little bit easier, because you put yourself into the La Liga. And of course, there's a co-op match as well, which I don't know what that really means. Able to choose a number of participants before matches and stuff like that, which does sound quite cool, actually. That I'll give them their due. That actually does sound relatively fun. But the game loads, and then as you see here, you join Real Madrid as their manager, and you acquired 60 points in GP. So I'm going to give a guess GP is spread out all over the whole game, so it's game points basically. But as you see there, it's quite cool. You get to see him walk out onto the pitch. I think it's the Konami Stadium pitch, and he's just basically mulling about until you press confirm, which does look quite cool. It adds a little bit more individuality towards each individual player, which I do really enjoy. And again, it's Master League seems like it's back to being what it should be. But in this individual clip which I'm showing here, he actually goes out and tries to buy Mario Götze. Now, for me doing this, I'm probably going to end up pausing this video, so you might hear a click in the background. But I'm just going to show you one of the coolest things which I saw with this. So, for example, he goes on to try and buy Mario Götze, and Yes, he has a market value of 22 million. He has an annual salary of 5 million, and so basically you're paying 27 million for 1 year, which seems relatively realistic, more or less, for Mario Götze. But then when it comes to him actually having to try and buy him, you'll see what I'm talking about when I actually go through it. As you see here, the team negotiations, so you can adjust the terms for the negotiations. There are two smiley faces there, one which is a red unsmiley face and one which is a yellow smiley face. Now, technically, some people will be really pissed off by this because they'll be like, well, this is a lot of crap because, you know, you don't really want to know how easy it is to buy a player. But, for example, the transfer fee is 32.6 million and the annual salary is 5.2 million. Now, Marvin changes it in his footage to end up being, let me see this, 37.6 million, and he gives an annual salary of 4 million, but he gives a goal bonus of 62,000 each goal. So, as you see there, his satisfaction level changes from a yellow face to a green face for player negotiations, and the team are like, well, that's actually not too bad. We'll take your 37 million, considering that they only wanted to pay 22. They only wanted 27 million, so you're paying 10 million more in advance. So stuff like that, yes, it's a bit annoying. I don't know if it works straight away or if you actually have to scout the player first. I didn't watch through all of the footage, of course, so I don't know if that works that way. But hopefully, if it does, and you actually get a player satisfaction level, it seems it's going to be slightly easier to buy players. But then again, it's all about keeping your budget and keeping under budget. Of course, you don't want to be spending, well, what is that? That's 37.6 plus 4.2, which is 41.8 million. So 41.8 million on Mario Götze, and then if he scores like 100 goals, you're going to be screwed because his goal bonus is 62,000 per goal. So, I mean, or 0.062 million. So, I mean, it does come down to sort of think about your budget and whatnot, which is, I think, is quite cool. It might be a bit too easy to buy some players, but then again, I don't know if you can really change the difficulty level for that particular thing. So, moving on to the final thing majority of you probably enjoy the most is My Club. Now, I've not even watched this yet, but My Club gives you the platform to build a team of your dreams. I've taken it on rivals from all over the world, and My Club is basically the Mass League online. So, when I looked at, well, I didn't look at this properly, but when I was thinking of it, my Club, as I've watched majority of their footage, it shows off that you get GP points, and GP points is what you use to buy players and whatnot and buy contracts in the My Club mode. Now, the My Club mode ranges from online and offline, so it's basically FIFA Ultimate Team for PES, basically, more or less, if you had to be blunt about it. So, one of the things which so with My Club, of course, it gives you the platform for your team, blah, 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 blah. And you get to select your team. So you select a team. I think this was taken from the Winning 11 Next Gen blog, so it was Asim Tanvir, who's a Manchester United fan. Of course, he's going to pick Manchester United as his team. So he goes out and picks Manchester United as his team in the English League. Now, as you see, there's the English Second Division. For some reason, Wolverhampton Wanderers are licensed. I'm not really sure why. But there, as you can see here, you can change your team name. So me, I'm going to pick some random team. Pick the Marcus Mafia and shorthand TMM. So basically, I'm already thinking of this now as I'm watching this here, that back, and as he writes WNB as his team, and WB, I don't know what his shorthand is for that, WNBFC or WFC. So, but it seems like it's going to come down to a lot to do with, why would you make it web? It's 3 letters, you make it WFC. But anyway, so it comes down to this. Actually, I'm sure it said that you can change it in edit mode. Did it say that? Edit data will be applied. Oh my God. Get rid of the thing. Edit data will be applied to the team's current names. Changes can be made in edit mode. So it seems you can actually change the team name if you really hate it in edit mode, which is a good thing, really. So you move on and you get to choose a manager for your team, and all managers have their own favourite formation. So he has 4 different managers: Zanbel, Rubit, Other Nata, and Roy Weitz. And of course, you get management skills and you have your GP and whatnot. I'd give a guess you probably just pick whoever one you want. And you get to choose the players that make up your team. The crux of your squad will be made up of players of nationality which you have selected. So for me, I'm going to end up just probably picking England, because why the hell would I pick anything else? Like, there's no if Scotland aren't a option, I'm going to probably end up picking England, because why the hell not? I'm not going to pick France or Spain or anything. So He picked Spain. His team lineup is shown there. Basically, a lot of players are rated 64, basically rated from 57 up to like 66. So as you see here, your score has been registered and you're now all set to go. In my club, your key is key to success to earn GP by playing. My God, you just don't click through things, man. Read it. In my club, your key to success is to earn GP by playing matches and entering competitions. If you save up enough GP, you'll get to sign the very best players and managers the football world has to offer. What's your ideal team? A team laden with superstars that will guide you to glory, or players which are generally like in real life. How to create your ideal team is down to you. Now, are you ready to start? So, I think this really seems quite cool, but I'm really need to see the goddamn thing before we go anywhere. Before you get stung to my club, let's see how it works. I'm just going to pause it here. Well, pause it for me anyway. So you have an inbox where you basically get your message. You have a My Club store. You have contract, My Club members. You have a game plan, and you have divisions. Now, divisions, you'll see this. Basically, in the inbox, you have to sign a player, you must consult an agent. There are many opportunities in this game to obtain agents, including playing in matches and competitions. So, you get a gift from the admin, which is a specialist in nationality, region, Europe. Players gift your celebration of your debut in My Club. So, you go through to the thing to sign a player, and you can sign a player through an agent, which is quite cool. And you can only sign players through agents, and this guarantees success in any potential deal you're looking to tie up. So, as I'm looking through here, you may sign for an agent, and it seems it comes down to some... What the hell is this? So, he clicks on it, and he clicks to open negotiations, and it looks like it's some sort of lottery, to be honest. No, it's not a lottery, it's a lot like I goddamn predicted, like that stupid PES manager game where you have to pick the best chance for you to get your thing. So it's like a roulette table of spinning balls, and you get to pick, if you get a gold one, you get the best chance to get an amazing player. A bronze one, of course, is a relatively lower rated player. As we see here, he ends up getting Francis as his player. So, that's quite cool. I mean, it does seem to add some sort of elements into signing players rather than just going out and being like, yes, I want this player to play. I think you can do that, like just buy with GP, but with this, you get to buy an agent, and then an agent is basically like a pack opener for you, basically, to get one player, which does seem quite cool. And of course, I'm not going to end up doing pack openings, but you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So you get to set up your match day squad, and you're free to form multiple squads. You know your players are registered to your club, and it's time to learn the workings of squad management. Obviously, there you have a total cost, a team strength, and a team spirit, and no manager. Well, you do have a manager, but the manager is absolutely dreadful. So again, like if you've basically played this, you should already know this sort of stuff. If you play the demo, you should already know that you have your two different tactics, and you have your tactical links for each thing and whatnot and stuff like that. And positioning the player is good and tactical fit with the manager turns the heat map red and stuff like that. I mean, it's a mix of the PES manager game and that Facebook game which they had. They've basically taken those two things and put them into a proper game mode for PES 2015, which looks absolutely fantastic, by the way. So, I mean, I'm like looking for this here. Get your basic player, total sum, total cost, blah, 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 blah. If you want to go and watch this video back yourself, let me just see something. So, you get the chance to play a match. When you want to play a match, you get to play for real, and you get to play they're both human and calm opponents. So you can play a computer, or you can play a human, and you follow instructions on the screen to start your match and whatnot. So he went and played a computer match against PES United, and then the video actually ends there. So, one of the best things which I think is personally about this, I mean, you might hear a lot of clicking and you might just not see what I'm talking about on the actual screen, because I've only talked for like 30 odd minutes. Maybe 30 odd minutes. Let me see how long I've talked for. I've only talked for 24 minutes. What an absolute legend. So yeah, 24 minutes, trying to try and keep it under 30 minutes. I thought I was going to go over 40, to be honest. But let's see, keep it under 30. So what do I get from this? Manager mode Master League looks absolutely fantastic. My Club looks absolutely fantastic. Become a Legend still looks more or less like the exact same stuff. And edit mode could potentially be a really annoying thing on next gen until they eventually get the ability to add images in, which I think they probably will end up doing when they introduce the likes of dynamic themes and themes in general for both the PS4 and Xbox One. But at the current moment, it seems that this game is going to be absolutely fantastic to play. And of course, if you want anything more from me, you can ask me some questions in the link below, in the comment section below, and I'll try and find answers to it. But if you want my personal opinion, I would not advise listening to the majority of this video or looking for another video coming out in the next couple of days of me talking. Just look for a video tomorrow, which I'll be putting up at about 6 o'clock, which will be PES 15 stream, and I'm going to stream the demo because that's all I've got. And streaming the demo, I'll end up talking about stuff tomorrow. So from like 9 o'clock tomorrow, my time. So 9 o'clock BST, British summer time. You'll get to watch a stream of me playing the demo. I'm quite a good player at the demo. And if you have any questions, you can actually ask me. So if I look at like 10 viewers, to be honest, I don't really care. If anyone has anything to ask me, they can ask me at the comment section below this, or wait for the stream tomorrow. So yeah, am I excited for PES 15? Hell yeah. So yeah, this has basically just been an opinions video, trying to get out as quickly as possible. All sounds absolutely minted, and I just can't wait to get started. I think I might have to change my idea to play with what team I want to play with for Master League, because of the fact that we will probably end up playing with a lot of fake teams. I'm just trying to think now. I still want to play with Southampton, but I might start with someone like Roma or someone like that, because I know for a fact Roma have the kits and manager licensed, so that really adds to it. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, have any questions, comment in the section below, wait for the stream tomorrow, and yeah. So if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.